Hey there, my friend. This is Paul Hutchings with paulhutchings.net. Hope you're having an awesome day. Hey, I just finished up chapter 1 of The Compound Effect, and I wrote a little blog post and wanted to just shoot this quick video to share with you my biggest takeaways. There's about 4 of them from chapter 1 of this book. And in case you don't know who Darren Hardy is, Darren built actually a 6-figure income by the time he was 18 years old. Then by the time he was 27 years old, he had a business that had done $50 million in revenue, and he was earning $1 million a year salary. He's also the publisher and editor, I think, of Success Magazine. So pretty good guy to learn from, right? And I actually got this book, The Compound Effect, from one of my best friends, Brandon Falter. Brandon, thank you so much for giving me this book. I'm just so excited to finally be digging into it. But first things first, kind of the big thrust that I'm picking up from this book, it's like what's the point, right? What's the main point? The main point seems to be that success is small, inglorious acts repeated with discipline over time, right? Sometimes we think of success as like these big monumental things that we do, like you just go out and you do something huge and all of a sudden you're a success. And Darren Hardy says, no, it's the little things that we do that maybe no one's paying attention to, that maybe you're boring, that maybe you're tedious, that maybe you're hard work, that we just have the discipline to engage in again and again and again and again. It's like that little drop of water that drops on a stone, and at first there's nothing that happens, but over many years, that little drop of water starts to make, this big impact, and there starts to be a crater formed in the stone, right? That's kind of the point. So chapter 1, here are my 4 takeaways. Number 1, success is hard. It's tedious, right? It's not easy, and this is contrary to what sometimes people want to tell us. And I think it's a good thing to just tell yourself, hey, you know what? It is going to be work. It is going to be hard, and if I want to make it happen, I'm going to have to dig in and put my shoulder to the wheel and just stay at it, right? Success is hard. The second is you already know all you need to succeed. New information is not what you need. A new plan of action is. And this is a big one, right? For myself and many people, we sometimes think that, it's just that next book. It's just that next mentor. It's just that next training video. It's just that next skill. And we tend to forecast, we tend to put our success out there and say, oh gosh, when I just get this thing, then I'll be able to succeed. But I love how he put this. He says that we already have everything we need to succeed right now. And I was actually talking to one of my friends, a life coach, a top earner in the home business profession, Mr. Joseph Bradley, the other day, and he was telling me about this coaching program that one of his friends went to, and the first thing this coaching program did is they told his friend all of the things that were wrong with her. And my friend Joseph said, that's bull. He's like, he said, that's bull. He's like, you've got everything you need to succeed right now. What about all these things that are right with you? How about we focus on all the accomplishments you've achieved and where you are right now? And as we were talking, I had this question come up, and I said, what if nothing is wrong with you, everything is right with you, and maybe you just don't know it yet? And isn't that a more empowering place to begin? To feel like, hey, we've got everything we need right now, right? And Darren Hardy says we just need a new plan of action. And another great thought along this topic, or this particular this point, is the idea that if new information was the answer, we'd all be rubbing our 6-packs, driving our Lamborghinis to and from our mansions, right? Because we all have the internet, right? There's no shortage of information. So new information, while helpful and while it does refine our journey and our skills, new information is good, right? Because, reading books, they can give us new insights, they can help us refine what we're doing, but it's really the plan of action, right? That's where the rubber meets the road. So that was a great takeaway. The next takeaway, be the one who says no. This actually came from his father. Darren's dad, he talks about how disciplined his dad was, and his dad taught him to be the one to say no, and he said, it is no great achievement to go along with the crowd, and oftentimes the crowd takes us in the wrong direction. And I remember Jim Rohn, who, by the way, Darren Hardy quotes as one of his greatest mentors. Jim Rohn always used to say, walk away from the 97%. You know, don't walk like they walk. Don't talk like they talk. Don't go where they go. Don't do what they do. Don't think how they think. Step into the 3%. And that's a great tip, you know, and a great reminder. You know, how it's the minority that gets up in the morning and reads. It's the minority that stays consistent with their daily activities, like getting out a blog post every day, or, you know, prospecting. You know, it's the minority. And so don't go with the crowd. You know, step into the 3%. I remember one time when I was working, you know, a job, and I realized that every day at lunch, what happened was we'd all get in the cafeteria and we would complain about the boss, about the company owner, about the pay structure. Like literally we'd sit around this table in the cafeteria, and for 45 minutes to an hour, it was just negative complaining about our situation. That's where the majority was. And I remembered I'd started to listen to some of these personal development audios, and I made a new decision. I said, I'm going to walk away from the 97%. And so what I started to do was, instead of sitting with those people at lunch, I would go off into a conference room and I would crack a book. And I remember, you know, starting with some Anthony Robbins books and, you know, psycho-cybernetics. And that was just a little example of how, in my own personal journey, I stepped away from the crowd and I started to do things differently, and that has been a tremendous help for me in my success journey. So that's the third point. And the fourth one is nothing fail. You know, you've heard the quote, nothing succeeds like success. And that's true to a degree, right? When you have success, when you have results, people tend to want to listen to you and want to follow you, right? But the flip side is also true, and this is what he points out. He says nothing fails like success, and he also highlights the fact that wealth tends to skip a generation. And his point here is that when you have success, it's easy to rest on your laurels. You know, when you say, "Hey, I want to go out there and build a certain income level so I can pay off the debt on my house," and then you go do that, now what do, right? Now it's like, okay, now what? Do I just keep setting higher, you know, material acquisition goals? Maybe I should kick back, you know? And so he says nothing fails like success. And so in my post here, I wrote, it's hard to succeed before you have success, and sometimes it's hard to succeed even after you've had success, because you have to keep finding reasons why. And this is a big insight that I gleaned here from this particular thought. And that's, maybe this is why magic lies in cultivating daily disciplines and learning to master yourself as a practice, instead of being driven to and fro by the ever-changing whims of desire. Because if it's always about that next car, or that next house, or that next trip, or that next thing, I mean, not that those things are bad, and I think they have their place, but what if instead we focus our energy and our discipline on the disciplines, and on showing up every day, and on cultivating positive habits? If we do that, then maybe we'll succeed through success and keep on succeeding, right? So this is really good so far, guys. You know, top 4 tips. Success is hard work. You're ready now. Learn to say no, and self-mastery and discipline is a solution for succeeding through success. So I want to ask you, what is one simple positive discipline you can start implementing today? And comment below. You know, comment below. Let me know what that is. And if we'll do this, if both you and I will do this, then we can begin to put the compound effect into greater effect in our lives. Hope you have an awesome day. If you're not subscribed to my blog, head on over to paulhutchings.net. I blog about personal development, online marketing, and financial freedom, right, for Freedom Crusaders. So would love you to do that if that's of interest to you, if you're not already subscribed. So thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Take care, and bye for now.